Yo, what's good, YouTube? In today's video, we're going over my new top 5 meta loadouts here after the update. If you enjoy this video, give it a like for the algorithm, subscribe as notifications turned on, and let's get into it. All right, so let's hop into it here and give you guys, of course, my top 5 loadouts. And what I mean by after the update is they actually did their first weapon balancing patch here in Black Ops 6, which did nerf some assault rifles, kind of buff some SMGs. We have adjusted some setups, made them even better to give you guys the best 5 loadouts to use. So first thing in here being the AK-74, one of the hardest hitting ARs the entire game. But I want to showcase this to you guys here real quick. So we of course happen to have the AK 9mm PM, which is kind of like my secondary. We have the melee for like, of course, the knife. Tactical can be like a concussion, flashbang, or like a stim shot. I like to go for a lot. Lethal can be a frag grenade or a semtex. And then the field upgrade, I always run the assault pack just because I go on long streaks and I want to have that ammo resupply. Pretty much everything really does help out. And I like to run all of my red perks, which will be giving me, of course, the specialty of Enforcer, which in my opinion is basically one of the best in the game, especially since they nerfed the recon one where you don't really get the wall hacks basically as much when you respawn in. And I have the tactical expert on there to give me an extra couple stim shots, though I would say you guys could go definitely down there and run perk greed or something like that, or gunfighter to get 8 attachments, but a lot of these are going to be 5 attachment setups. So let's get here and show you guys, of course, the AK build. First one in here is going to be the muzzle. That's going to be the compensator. So the compensator is what a lot of pro players are actually using. I've used this for some of my gameplays. I ran this even on the Tanto in one of my gameplay videos where I did use the compensator, and I've been using it a lot more here recently. I will say the compensator is absolutely incredible. The only downside is, of course, that you are on the radar. So if you don't want to be on the radar, throw in the suppressor and the rest of this class can work exactly how you want it to. It's going to be fantastic. This is really one of my favorite guns to use the entire game right now. After that, we're going to go in here to the underbarrel section. We're going to skip right over that barrel because we really don't need a barrel. We're going to throw on the vertical foregrip. This can help us out their overall horizontal recoil control. This is going to be great right here. I think you guys are going to have great success with this one, just to really stabilize it out horizontally. Horizontal recoil is one of those things where you really can't control it. You really can't adjust for it. It's kind of one of those things where if it's kind of jiggling back and forth, it is what it is, and that's how the weapon's going to function. Whereas vertical recoil is where it goes up, to the left, to the right, up and just to the center. It's very easy to counteract that as long as it's not too unbearable. You can just pull down, and go the opposite way. It's pretty simple, especially when aim assist kicks in. Not too difficult, but horizontal, not really something we can deal with too much. After that, we're going to go in here to the magazine section and throw on the extended mag 1. I found the extended mag 1 was actually pretty awesome. You guys can always go down here, run the fast mag 1, which is really good if you want to be more of an aggressive slayer. I really enjoy kind of when I'm using the AK not being super aggressive, but still kind of being minorly aggressive, or moderately, I should say. And so I've run the extended mag, and I feel like that's actually pretty good. I get to take out a few people per magazine, and or the fast mag if I feel like I'm needing it. I'll switch right over to that and use the same exact build otherwise, and that is really good as well. At that rear grip section, we're going to go through on the commando grip just to help with our overall ADS speed and sprint to fire speed. There's not really much of a need to really run something to control extra recoil or to run a barrel or something like that. We can kind of basically take that attachment and run it as a rear grip. And of course, if you don't want to run an optic, which the AK iron sights or the AK-74 iron sights are great, you can just run something else too. So the commando grip here is really good. ADS speed, sprint to fire speed, makes you feel a little bit faster and to help you be a little bit better off when you're in those closer situations, close range situations. It's not Warzone, of course, so you're not going to be running around with a secondary SMG. This is your primary gun, and you only have a pistol really to back you up. Lastly, we're going here to the stock section. We're going to throw on the balanced stock. This is really good here for a mocking movement speed, hip fire movement speed, and of course, strafing movement speed. So all really fantastic things here to make you more effective when you ADS or when you're trying to move around. Really great. I'm a huge fan of this attachment. I think you guys are really going to enjoy this overall setup. This is a heater, especially on Nuketown. Now we're jumping in here to the KSV, basically one of Black Ops 6's most used SMGs in the entire game right now. This is pretty ridiculous. So let's get in here and show you guys it. Of course, we're running the compensator here once again, and I should put this out there that it is going to have a little bit of recoil if you don't use the compensator and throw on the suppressor. That's just kind of the price you pay, but overall, the compensator makes guns feel a lot more like a laser beam, which I quite enjoy. So I'd recommend for you guys to go for the compensator here on the KSV. After that, we're gonna go to the barrel section and run the long barrel. And of course, a lot of the SMGs in this game, if you guys go take a look at the detailed patch notes, they get a nice little boost to their overall range, making them more effective. They kind of dialed the ARs back ever so slightly because, well, it was very dominant being an AR game, and it felt like sometimes you just get crapped on no matter what you were using. You're trying to use an SMG versus an AR, especially that XM4. but the long barrel on here is really going to extend out your range, make you feel more effective, and you're just going to be able to dominate that closer to medium-ish range. Now after that, we're going to go down here to the magazine, and we're going to throw on the flip mag. So this right here is my preference when running the KSV. I mean, I'm trying to run this thing and be very fast, be very aggressive, be up in people's faces. And the flip mag on there does help me with that. I'm able to really just move around and to be able to get them shots off, be able to hit that reload button and not really have to worry about like the extended mag, for instance, and having to, deal with the reload time on that, or extended mag 2, which would be even more brutal. I don't really want to deal with that. And also, this doesn't slow me down at all, just helps my reload quickness, and I still keep that 30 rounds in the magazine, unlike fast mag 2, which shortens it down to 25 rounds. We just like the flip mag. That is a nice option. Right now, we're going to go on back here to the rear grip section, throw on the assault grip. This is just going to help us out with our overall sprint to fire speed. This is basically one of the better things in here to help out with your overall sprint to fire. This is what I would just say is like one of the best options. I really enjoy having a fast sprint to fire, fast ADS speed on an SMG. It's what you're going to be using primarily, for super close range, fast, twitchy gunfights. So having a good sprint to fire makes all the difference in the world, and it will really, really change your ability to go on streaks. After that, for the last attach, we're going to throw on the balanced stock here once again. We did that for the AK. We're doing it here once again, as this kind of is like almost in the AK family. Basically, same exact, things it's doing: strafing, movement speed, hip fire, movement speed, and of course, aim walking movement speed. It does everything you need it to do, and it makes you just feel like an absolute machine when you're running around with this thing out there on the battlefield. So definitely try this out. Next up, we're gonna hop in here to the PP19. This is an SMG that pro players are indeed using. I said this in some of my other videos where I used it originally, wasn't that big of a fan, came back around, I was like, wait, hold up, I judged this too quick, maybe judged the book by its cover, didn't give it enough play time, and I realized this thing was insanely good, and it got even better today with the patch update. So you guys are going to want to run this build. Of course, first is going to be the compensator here, which honestly, this doesn't have much recoil. You can realistically run the suppressor and be totally okay. It's just going to kick a little bit more, but overall, the compensator is going to make you feel like you have zero recoil. After that, barrel section, throw on the long barrel here to increase out our overall damage range. This thing has got pretty good damage range to begin with, but we're going to extend it out a little bit farther, making you feel like you have, a lot more range on you, because it has, well, you can see right next to my face cam there, but it's got the 3 arrows, meaning that it's going to give you the most amount of range possible as opposed to any of these other barrels in here. Definitely recommend you have this on there. Now we're going down to the magazine section, and we have fast mag 2 on here. And the reason we got this is, well, a couple reasons actually. So it has 40 rounds in the magazine, so it's, even though you're technically losing ammo from the base magazine size, it kind of almost feels like you're gaining, because a lot of SMGs by default have 30, so we have an extra 10 in comparison to all the other default SMGs. It hits incredibly hard, and of course the reload speed's very fast. It just also helps your ADS speed, your sprint to fire speed. Really great things here with the fast mag 2, so it's going to make you just overall a lot better close range having this on there. And you really don't need to have a 55, 60 plus round mag on this thing. It just doesn't really, make sense to do. It's got a slower fire rate, so when you can hit them shots, you're not going to run out of ammo too fast. So I think you guys should definitely have fast mag 2 on here. That's going to be really a great attachment. After that rear grip section, we're having on the ergonomic grip here, which helps with my slide to fire speed, dive to fire speed, and ADS speed. So really great things here. One of the biggest things in this game, of course, with the Omni movement is your slide to fire, your sprint to fire, pretty much getting out of those movement animations and being able to actually engage in gunfights. So the ergonomic grip here is really going to help you with that. So I'd recommend for you guys to go for that. After that stock section, we throw on the balanced stock here. I mean, I really got a thing for this balanced stock here, but it does everything you need it to. I'm not going to explain it here since it does the same thing on every gun, but overall the balanced stock is where it's at, and this is going to be my full PP19 setup. Next up, let's jump in here to one of the fastest TTK guns, the AS Val. This thing, of course, because it's in the assault rifle category, caught a little bit of a nerf. Nothing really crazy. It's not going to do a whole lot. You guys know how they, buff and nerf Call of Duty guns. They can buff something and make it really good. The nerfs normally take about 5, 6, 7 nerfs for something to really be not good. And this, of course, is still absolutely fantastic. So this is the optimal build. First thing is the vertical foregrip. We don't have to waste anything in any other category because, of course, it's suppressed by default. So we can just go right ahead in here and add on the vertical foregrip, and that's going to be great. Going to stabilize you out horizontally, which is what we really do care about. That's that. In the magazine section, throw on the extended mag 2, which brings you out to 40 rounds per magazine. I really do feel that getting you out to at least the minimum of extended mag 2. You don't need extended mag 3. There's only another 5 rounds in the mag, which is nothing crucial or like huge. So I think getting you out from that 30 to 40 gets you that mag 2 does make a difference. It's got a super fast fire rate. I think I toggle the stats here. Yeah, almost a 900 round per minute fire rate, which is incredibly quick for an assault rifle. So this does make sense, and it is really, really good. After that rear grip section here, we have the commando grip, just because, I mean, you can almost run around with this thing a little bit like an SMG just due to the fire rate, especially if you make it very mobile. This is going to be really fun and super easy to use. So the commando foregrip here, giving you aim down sight speed and sprint to fire speed, just helps you out overall in any and all situations. And of course, there's no cons like losing out your recoil control or something else like that. I really do enjoy the game for that purpose, that you don't feel like you're losing as soon as you add on an attachment. Lastly, we're gonna go in the stock section and throw on the combat stock. This is gonna help with our overall flinch resistance and our aim walking movement speed. This is one of those guns where I feel like you get a little bit of that extra flinch when people are shooting at you, and I'm not a big fan of that. So I really like to incorporate the combat stock here. Gives me a little bit of that aim walking movement speed, and it does help me stay more on target, because you can genuinely have one of the fastest TTKs in the entire game as long as you're hitting your shot. So this is my full build right here. Of course, actually, take that back, not my full build. Last thing is gonna be the recoil springs, my bad. This helps you with the horizontal recoil control and vertical recoil control. I haven't done that in a long time, but this is that's going to be my final attachment. This is now my full build, which I want you guys to use. It does help out. This is a great setup. And last but definitely not least, I want to give you guys a build here for the Tanto 22. This is one of the hardest hitting SMGs in the entire game, like 2-shot potential. Almost, I think if you go to hardcore, it's like 1-shot kill potential. So this thing's pretty nuts, and I'd recommend for you guys to use it. First thing is gonna be that compensator. Once again, you can put the suppressor on and ever use the exact same build. It's gonna be perfectly fine. After that barrel section, we once again have on the long barrel to increase out our damage range. This is kind of the recurring theme for a lot of these SMGs, just choosing the damage range barrel, the exclusive damage range barrel, because it's going to do the absolute most. We don't really care about making our, our bullet velocity too much faster. We don't really need that. We're not really going out to ranges where bullet velocity is going to be a huge impact. We just want to make sure our overall damage range is extended out for what we have. After that underbarrel section, we're going to go through on the Ranger foregrip. This helps their overall horizontal recoil control and sprinting movement speed. So, I mean, you really can't go too wrong here. It's going to give you sprinting movement speed, making you faster, and helps your recoil. This is overall a fantastic option, and I think you guys are really going to like this one. Skipping the magazine, just we don't really need a mag on this thing. Honestly, 30 rounds in the mag is more than enough considering the fire rate of this gun. I feel like I do not need to reload after every single kill, just because it's like, I'm putting out maybe 4 to 6 shots. Usually speaking, if I'm good and accurate, 4 to 6 shots, and I can take somebody down because it's pretty simple. And I have a lot left in the magazine, so I don't really feel like I need an extended mag. But let's move on in here to the rear grip section, where we have the CQB grip, giving us dive to fire, slide to fire, and sprint to fire. I mean, do I even got to explain this one? It just does what it does. It makes you real mobile, and of course, this is an SMG, so it's really good. Lastly, stock section, combat stock here, giving us a nice little 2 arrows for both aim walking movement speed and flinch resistance. Because this gun has a slower fire rate, we need to make sure we're on target as much as possible, not getting that hit flinch, getting kicked off target, because then your TTK goes up way high. We want to make sure we hit as many shots as possible and really make this thing one of the fastest TTK guns in the entire game, especially in the SMG category. So this is my full build right here. Hope you guys enjoyed this top 5. You guys did. Give it a like, subscribe, notifications turned on. Check out this other video on screen. I'll see you all next time.